the Good Neighbor Network. FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro. FM 100.5 Smyrna. Audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com.
From the first pitch to the final buzzer, this is where the conversation starts. All sports talk on WGNS and Big G TV, covering the Preps, MTSU, news from Tennessee and nationwide. Now, here's All Sports Talk on the Good Neighbor Network.
And a pleasant good afternoon. Dick Palmer with you here on All Sports Talk for this Monday afternoon. Beautiful day here in Middle Tennessee, and we're glad to have you with us as we welcome the new head basketball coach at Middle Tennessee for women's basketball, Matt Ensel, and his assistant is with us. That would be Clark Ensel.
Yeah, welcome. Big time assistant. Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, Dick. Been looking forward to this all weekend.
Well, there's so much to talk about. You hardly know where to start. I'll start by first asking you, how has the first 6 weeks in your new job gone?
It's went really well. It's been extremely busy, obviously with the transfer portal and our present team, and you know, trying to make sure everything goes right with our incoming recruits and make sure everything goes right with the young ladies on campus, and making sure their grades are good, and then getting our staff put together and making sure our staff we get all of that stuff done, and so it's been busy, but it's been really, really good, and the support that we've been given by Chris and Dr. McPhee and Diane has been unbelievable, and their help in this transition has been great.
Just had graduation this past weekend, and you know, with a team full of freshmen, you don't expect to have too many graduates, but I did see where Jada Granum from last year's team got her master's degree.
She did.
And
Elena got her undergrad.
Contreras.
Yep.
And I think, did Gracie get her degree?
Gracie Hamby will graduate this summer.
Okay.
So she will walk this summer in the summer graduation. So she'll be on next year's team and be working towards her master's as well.
I think I saw where Emily Monson
got hers as well, and obviously she's transferring, and we wish her the best. And she'll be able to start her master's at her new school, which is great. It's always good to see them graduate.
Okay, the transfer portal. We haven't leaned on that as much as some other schools in the past, but now it's becoming such that if you lose players to the transfer portal, you've got to get them from somewhere, and it's too late to get them from the high school ranks in most cases because the recruiting process has already happened. Mm-hmm. So if you lose 3 to the transfer portal, you need to get 3 to come in to replace them on your squad.
Exactly, and that's, you know, we haven't done that as much in the past, but we felt like with this year we had 3 high school young ladies coming in, and Aaliyah Blanchard and McLean Bobo and Maya Cohen. And, you know, with those 3 coming in, we felt like it would be important to add some experience from the transfer portal. And we were able to do that. And, you know, that was huge. And you have to be prepared that you're going to lose some. And, you know, that's something that we were prepared for. It was something that we just feel like it's the nature of what it is right now. And, you know, there'll be times to tell the stories on some situations, but right now you wish them all the very best and where they're going. And you hope they succeed wherever they're at, but we have to move forward here with the young ladies that are here, and we're excited about the 8 that decided to return to us, and then even more excited about the 6 new ones we have coming in.
You have 5 international players on this year's squad. 3 of those were from last year's squad. Mm-hmm. I think I'm right. And Nicole Dominguez and Stacy Kabrinik.
Yep.
And was there one more?
Nora from France.
From France, the young lady who didn't play, who sat out last year, mm-hmm. and we're looking forward to seeing her play.
Exactly. I think that she has a big future. If she would have been here last November or last June, July, as a coaching staff, we've said this, that there was a great chance that she would be, if not our best perimeter player, one of our best perimeter players. and would have had a chance to start for our basketball team. And she's made a lot of big strides over the last 6 months. She's at home right now in France, and I talked to her this morning actually, and she's excited about getting back in here in June and going back to work, and has a huge future, and we're real excited about her.
You sent out a Facebook post 3 or 4 days ago breaking down the players, particularly the new players, and you had video clips on each one of them. I shared that on my Facebook page.
Yes, sir.
But if you haven't seen that, you need to go look at it, because it gives you an insight into what kind of talent you've got coming in. And there are clips on all of the new players coming in. Some are a little clearer than others, but you can tell that all of them are quality players. And I'm excited to see this young lady from Israel, because she looks from that clip like she can shoot the lights out. I'm excited to see her in your green light drill.
Yeah, I'm excited about her. She's an interesting situation. She was committed to an ACC school. Dorsar alerted us of her, which Dor played in our program, and Dor knew her very well, knew her family, and so we got to working and talking with her, and she decided to decommit and come to us. And she brings something that we really didn't have last year. She is a 100% knockdown shooter. She can shoot it with deep range. She has Jalen Gregory type range, Jackie Pickle type range, and somebody that can really shoot it. And we were really missing that knockdown shooter when it comes to Elena was a great pull-up jump shooter and could score it that way for us last year, but we really didn't have that knockdown 40% three-point shooter that we've had in the past on that other wing, and she brings that, and that's something that we're extremely excited about. And we know, as you well know, Dick, you were around Dor, the Israeli girls bring a different type of work ethic with them, and she's going to bring that with her. And Dor, that's the one thing that Dor kept telling me is, Coach, she works harder than I do. So if she works harder than you, then we need her. And so we're excited about her as well.
Yeah, her name is Mayan.
It's Mayan. Yes, sir.
Cohen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Cohen. And she's unique. Where Dor chose to not do her military service in Israel until after she graduated college, Mayan went ahead and did it straight out of high school. So she's coming in as a 20-year-old. She'd been serving in the military in Israel for the last 2 years, and she finishes up her service at the end of this month. We're keeping our fingers crossed that she stays safe, but she finishes up that service at the end of this month. But while doing that, she's been playing on her club team over there, which 3 of our former players play in the Israeli club league that she's in, and Anastasia Bodoreva, Ksenia Malaska, and Dorsar. And in her team, Mayan's team, got beat in the finals by Anastasia's team. And so they played in the finals, sent me a picture of them. I cannot wait for her to get here. She's someone that we're going to be real excited about. Our fans are going to love watching.
Those kids that you mentioned, I would assume they have a pretty good following over there.
They have a big following. And you got to think, Mayan is not a typical freshman coming in because of everything she's been through. And she's been playing the last 2-3 years against Ksenia, against Dor, and then this year against Anastasia. She's been playing against pros. And so that her experience level is going to be really high. It's not going to be a typical freshman that's coming in.
Well, we're excited to see her as well as the rest of the new players. And I assume most of them will be coming in for your summer workouts, late June, early July, something like that?
Everybody will be here starting the second week of June, except Mayan that we just talked about, and then Maya Kone. Which I know it's going to be hard for fans. We got a Mayan Cohen and then a Maya Kone. But Maya Kone is obviously transferring to us from Miami, but as we well know her from her time at FIU.
Right.
And it's important to her. She graduated this past Saturday from the University of Miami, but she has to finish one class to be totally complete with that. And so she's going to work on that in the month of June. She's taking that class at Miami in the month of June, and then she'll be joining us in July. And then Maya Cohen, the girl from Israel, will be with her national team in June and July. We'll be here at the end of July. And then Elise, the girl from Oregon State, the young lady we just signed from Oregon State, the 6'5", they're on the quarter system at Oregon State. They're not on semesters. So she's not officially done with school until the first week of June at Oregon State. And then she'll be coming here the second week of June.
So with the players that you have coming back, it sounds like you've got a good mix.
We do. I think we're built better. Last year we were so young, and from a size standpoint, I don't think we were built from a size standpoint to handle our schedule and the teams that we have to play.
Right.
When you start talking, it wasn't a talent thing when you're playing against an Auburn or a Mississippi State
Tennessee.
or something like that, Tennessee. It was just, and it's not. I'm not saying it as our post, but we were undersized on the perimeter. We were undersized at the post at times. And so, getting some bigger girls allows Blair Boggess now to move to her normal position at the 4. Now she can really take off because now she's going to have a better matchup every night, even though she had an unbelievable year this year as a freshman. You mean, in my mind, I'm looking at now her going from 12 or 13 points a game. Now she's an 18-point-a-game player, and that allows her to play more of her natural position at the 4. And now you got Elise, and you got Nicole, and you got Jenna in there that's just getting better every single day. Nicole getting better every single day. That's exciting for us. I mean, you've been at practice in days that Nicole and Jenna, you just look at them like, oh my, especially towards the end of the year as they started to come on. And so now we got some true 5s. You got Blair Boggess in the true position at the 4. Now we're built from a size standpoint to be able to handle what we need to handle.
I thought one of the missing ingredients last year, not that we had a bad year. I thought it was a good year, but we didn't have a sufficient rebounding strength and athleticism to go with Blair, who had to do most of it by herself.
I mean, you think about it, Blair. She set a single-season record, I believe, in Conference USA history for a freshman with double-doubles. She was top 5 in the country, I think, in double-doubles when it comes to freshmen, maybe top 2 or 3, maybe number 1. I can't remember the exact stat on that. Blair is an elite rebounder where Macy, that was playing with her, averaged 3 rebounds a game. So now you got an elite rebounder and you got a 4 player that's averaging 3. That's not a lot of rebounds you're getting. So where in the past we've been good, you had Courtney Whitson rebounding, you had Anastasia in there, you had 2 elite rebounders. I feel like this year we will have some elite rebounders, and then you move to the perimeter spots with a Maya Kone that's an elite rebounder that averaged a double-double at FIU. That from a perimeter spot, you got a Leah Blanchard. It's a big-time rebounder when it comes to an athlete that can go the boards. Now you're adding in even more rebounding when it comes to the perimeter, as well as what you got with your post players.
Yeah, Blanchard is the freshman coming in from Birmingham, for the Birmingham area, and she's got some good credentials.
She does. Ranked top 75 player in the nation. I told Dad towards the end of the year, I went and watched her play, and she was playing against a signee that's not ranked higher than her, that's going to the SEC in the Alabama region tournament, and Blanchard had 30 and that signee had 2, and they guarded each other. This was a SEC signee. I'm not going to say the school. And I told Dad, I said, here's the thing, if you're thinking about retirement, don't go watch Aaliyah Blanchard, because you're going to want to coach her. and I really believed that. And when I told him that, I mean, I left that gym extremely excited about just how she competes on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively, goes to the boards, gets to the rim, all of those intangible things that are awesome.
You mentioned your dad. How is he adjusting to retirement, do you think?
Well, he's still calls me every morning, still calls me every night, checks in, wants to see film on everybody we're recruiting. He's moved into a new office, and so he's got a new coffee shop in there. Is what I told him that's going to be his coffee shop in there.
So he got his own coffee machine?
He's got his own coffee machine. He can hold court in there, and anybody wants to come by in the mornings and just sit and talk and tell stories, that's going to be the place. I'm sure him and Jim Simpson and you, Dick, will hold that place down really well in there.
He will also probably be at every practice, I would assume.
He will be. He's excited about this group. He's excited. I mean, he was last year, from a health standpoint, he had to get some things corrected, and that was really what led to the retirement. But this group of returners, the 8 that we got coming back, he was extremely excited about it. When you start talking about Kirsten Verhulst, I mean, at the point guard position, one of the hardest positions you have to play 36 minutes a night against the pressure that she gets put on, and having to play in a new system, and she's going to be so much better this year than she was a year ago. I mean, we saw that with Savannah Wheeler coming in as a junior, that how she struggled as a junior, as good as she was, but as a senior it slowed down and she became just special. Kirsten Verhulst is that. I mean, I just think it's going to be, and then Carson Swaney returning on that perimeter as well, that brings length, athleticism, can shoot it. I mean, we got a lot of great things, and that's exciting.
And we're going to talk further about that. All Sports Talk will continue. My guest, Matt Insel, the new women's head basketball coach at Middle Tennessee, will be back after this.
SRM Concrete is the largest ready-mix producer in the country, yet is still family-owned and operated. Locally grown, nationally known, SRM delivers unmatched quality and service. You call, we haul. We're SRM Concrete.
Join me, Speedy, Adler, and Greg for the Rick Burgess Show on WGNS.
The Rick Burgess Show, weekdays 11 to 2 on News Radio WGNS.
From the big news of the day to stories from everyday life, it's the Rick Burgess Show.
Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home has served Murfreesboro families with compassion and care since 1880. As a family-owned funeral home, we're committed to honoring every life with dignity through traditional services, cremation options, and pre-planning that gives you peace of mind. For over 140 years, we've been here when it matters most. Visit JenningsandAyers.com. Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home, honoring life and comforting families since 1880.
Ascension St. Thomas Heart is the leader in Middle Tennessee for heart care, providing the most advanced options, including heart surgery and transplants. Our nationally recognized cardiac team cares for more adult hearts than anyone in the state, from AFib to heart failure, using minimally invasive options when possible to help shorten recovery, making Ascension St. Thomas Heart your first choice for routine heart care and cardiac emergencies. Schedule a heart screening or find a cardiologist at ascension.org/St. Thomas Heart.
First Shot transforms Rutherford County youth. Coach Andy Herzer leads dynamic basketball camps and clinics, building skills and character since 2003. Kids dive into exciting STEM projects, sparking creativity through hands-on coding, art, and dance. They elevate their mind, spirit, and body in summer and winter programs. Visit FirstShotTN.org today to learn more. First Shot, where kids gain, elevate, and develop.
Time to salute the Doug Young Educator of the Month, presented by WGNS and City Tile and Floor Covering. We're spotlighting Matthew and Mary Ellen Smith. They are both teachers at Riverdale High School in the theater department.
I decided to become an educator after watching my wife for 4 years and working with her, building her sets and doing those things. I really enjoyed working with the students.
I absolutely love it. I understand why God put me here, because I think I was meant to be an educator. Something that I would like to accomplish, seeing one of my former students actually be on Broadway or in a big movie or a TV show, something so that these other kids can see that it is attainable.
I agree with Mary Ellen. That would be really, really awesome, because we would be willing to go travel pretty much anywhere to watch them in that performance.
Matthew and Mary Ellen Smith at Riverdale are the Doug Young Educator of the Month, proudly sponsored by City Tile and Floor Covering on Spring Street.
Here's Dr. Craig McCabe at McCabe Vision Center.
We deliver state-of-the-art care by state-of-the-heart people.
I can see clearly now. I have difficult eyes to do contacts with, and they test them, and they work with me a lot on getting the right contacts. And now I have glaucoma, and they're working with that to make sure that that's treated accurately.
McCabe Vision Center.
I definitely would recommend them.
McCabe Vision Center on Heritage Park Drive, just off Memorial, behind SunTrust Bank.
Good afternoon. T-Dot was moving that stalled car and had it clogged up just a bit over near Metro Center on 65 North there at Rosa Park's already busy there this time of the afternoon. A little bit slow. It's not going to surprise you. Northbound 65 here at Rivergate Parkway. It's just busy 40 east and west now here at Fessler's as we check it out live. STR Towing and Recovery says call them 24/7 if you need their help here in Middle Tennessee. STR Towing and Recovery, #1 here in Middle Tennessee. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
It's all sports talk from the Good Neighbor Network, FM 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, WGNSradio.com, and Big G TV.
And welcome back into All Sports Talk for this Monday afternoon. Dick Palmer with you. Our guest, my guest is Matt Insel, the head basketball coach, MTSU women's basketball, who brought an ex officio member of his staff with him today. Would you like to introduce your guest?
I did. I brought Clark Ensel with me. He's obviously everybody knows him as the man that sits behind the bench and holds the board. And so, but we've been at baseball practice, and now we're ready to get going right here on All Sports Talk. Clark, what is, if you're thinking about one game next year, what is the game that you're the most excited about next year?
Against Tennessee.
Tennessee? Make sure you're talking to your mic. Why Tennessee?
Because we're going to beat them.
We're going to beat them. That's what I'm talking about. What did you tell me at the end of the first quarter against Tennessee when you whispered to me last year during the game? Do you remember? He said, Dad, if we can get it under 10, we got a chance.
We would.
Yeah.
We would have, but we were down 26-9.
We don't need to bring it up, Clark. Let's not talk no more about that one, right?
So
he remembers, huh?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of staff, any developments there, changes?
Yeah, I mean, we were one of the biggest things when I took over is making sure that we retain our roster. And then as I moved into meeting with the staff members and trying to make sure that everybody understood what their roles were going to be and if things were changing and how things could be different, how things could be the same. And I had great talks with everyone on our staff, and we were able to retain all of them as well. And it wasn't easy. We had several people coming after several of our staff members, and thanks to the support that our administration gives us, and we was able to keep them. Some turned down some head jobs to stay. And then we was able to, we had one spot we needed to fill, and we hired Jalen Gregory in that. And Jalen was obviously a great player for us, but if you'd have asked me this time last year, I would have told you she probably wouldn't be ready for that. And this past season, she showed every single day how she was ready for that. And even stepping into the role now as an assistant, she's been extremely active in recruiting. Extremely active and talking with our present players and working with them, and so I just couldn't be happier about that hire of her.
Well, she was a grad assistant last year and worked with the wing players, the backcourt players, and I saw her a lot in practice. She just call a player over and whisper something into her ear, and it's because she had been there. She'd done all that.
Exactly. And that's the thing, like, that job was not given to her. She earned that job. She was a GA last year. She worked hard. She did a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff with film and recruiting and different things like that. And it's something that she earned every single day. And I was excited for her to really be my first hire because she earned it. And it wasn't something just given to her because of her playing resume or anything like that here. I had to make a really good hire to make a good decision on who I was going to hire, and she earned that.
Courtney Whitson has got a head coaching job now in her hometown.
She did, and at Dobbins Bennett, and Courtney's another great basketball mind. Courtney Autumn and I think the world of Courtney. We talk to Courtney at least once a week, if not 2 or 3 days a week, and Courtney is someone that's very special to us all.
And she came up the way Jalen is coming up.
She did.
Grad assistant, operations director.
She did.
Coach,
and it was that Courtney loved being here on staff, but she had some family stuff going on with her grandfather and people like that were getting a little older, and she wanted to get back closer to home and be around them here in their latter years, and I respect that. And Courtney is a special young lady that's been a part of our program and hopefully be in the Hall of Fame one day. I
expect we'll see her down here at the state tournament in not too distant future.
Yeah, not too long. And it's that whole group of, Courtney, Jalen, Anastasia, Savannah, and then you got Tamia. That was a pretty special group that came through during that time. And even that whole group, even Tamia, that left and went to Alabama last year, I talk to every one of those young ladies at least. I talk to Jalen every day now, but the rest of them at least once a week, if not twice a week. And even including Tamia during her season this past year would call every week and texts every week. And she graduated from Alabama the other day, and she sent me her graduation picture. And in her graduation picture, she had her hand down with her rings on it, and it was all of her middle rings. And I said, that's pretty special. But if you'd have stayed last year, we'd have had one more to add to that. But just, that was a special group that came through. And that's the thing that's exciting about this group. It's very similar than what we had with that group. This group has a chance to make that same type of run. This is not your first head coaching job. It's not. And it's been, 10 years in between? It's been 8 years in between. And I know that you've probably changed some of your thoughts and ways of doing things in that time. But what do you think you carry over, and what do you think you've got to change? Number one, when I took the job at Ole Miss, I think I was the second youngest coach in the history of the SEC to be hired, and the youngest was Pat Summitt. And so you don't really know what you don't know until you get into that position. And there's a lot I've learned from that. And we had a lot of success there. When I took over at Ole Miss, I was the fourth head coach in 2 years, which is unheard of. We were in the NCAA investigation and also probation due to the previous staff for 3.5 of my 5 years there. And so I have no ill will towards that. I laugh now and say I was that coach that got us through the probation, and there's always a coach that gets you through the probation, and then somebody else comes in, But I've learned a lot from that. I've came here for the last 8 years, and I've become a better coach, a better person, a better dad, all the many things that you can, better son over those 8 years, and is ready to step into this position now. And my job is just is to continue taking it to where it's going. And where do we want to go? We want to be in the third weekend of the NCAA tournament. And a lot of people nowadays say you can't do that because of the money situation. And our job is to try to figure out how to do that. And if you can do that, then you got something real special. And, we're working real hard every day. And I think I said in the office today, and I told our staff, I'm excited about this roster. We've got great depth. We're going to play more than 5 or 6, and hopefully we do. I hope they give me a good reason to do that. But I feel like we got 9, 10, maybe an 11 at times that can do things. We got a great group of young ladies that's returning. We got a great group that's coming in, and I think we got a lot of depth, and I think we got a chance. This year's team, from a talent standpoint, is pretty talented and can make a big run. I think one of the best things that you took away from Ole Miss was this young man's mama. I think that's the best thing that I took from Ole Miss. And, I say that all the time is, if I had to do it over again, would you have left Kentucky where, we had it rolling. We were in 4 straight Elite Eights. Yep. We had a Final Four team returning. I feel like if we could have kept that group where it was, I think we could have had a great chance being in the Final Four that next year. And I was working for a great friend, and I took the Ole Miss job. And 2 days into it, I remember thinking, man, I should go back to Kentucky. And I'm glad I didn't because I met my wife there, and she's the light of all of our eyes and our family. She's the rock that keeps Clark, Evie, and I rolling. And she's went through a battle with breast cancer, and is all indications has beat it, and is on the backside of that right now, and doing really, really well. And I appreciate all the prayers and the concern that there was all throughout this year for her. When Rick was coaching high school basketball in Shelbyville, and you were growing up, I guess, sir, at that time. Tell me about that time. Some of the best years of my life. I grew up in a gym where a lot of my friends would go home after school, or their parents would pick them up. I went to the gym, and I was in the gym, and I'd get me I'd go to Dad on the court. He'd give me a $1 bill, and I could get me a snack, 50 cents for a bag of chips and 50 cents for a drink, and I'd go drink and eat that, do my homework, and then go up there and shoot. And so I say this all the time. There's no better place to raise a child is right there in the gym, and that's what he's doing right now. And that's the way we're raising Clark and Evie, and right there in the gym or at the ball fields. And I couldn't imagine a better life growing up. for my brothers and I.
Clark's got his dry erase board during practice, and he was the unofficial coach of the practice team, wasn't he?
Yeah, him and Gabe took care of the practice team and day-to-day operations of them, and I'm sure they'll be drawing up some new plays and be ready to go this fall with them again.
Thought you had a good bunch of practice players. Some of the better players that I've seen since I've been over there.
We did. We had a great group. Brought great size, great athleticism. We've got several of them returning. We're going to add a couple more, and just a great group of guys that work very hard.
Growing up and going to high school in Shelbyville when your dad was coaching there, and then on to the University of Tennessee. Tell me about your time at Tennessee.
Well, I went to Tennessee to work for Buzz Peterson on the men's basketball staff, and I went there as a manager, and a week into it, the assistant video coordinator, something happened there, and a guy named Hal Wilson and Buzz got together, and Hal was the video coordinator, and they brought me into the film room and said, you need to start breaking down film. And from there, I ended up being the video guy when Hal left, and did that for 4 years with Buzz. And then Buzz got let go at Tennessee, and then at the same time, Dad got the middle job. And so I came back to middle and finished my last year here. But my time at Tennessee working for Buzz Peterson, still to this day, Buzz is a great mentor to mine, and someone that I learned a lot under and met a lot of great people working for Buzz. Buzz is one interesting fact of his. He was the state player of the year in North Carolina coming out of high school over Michael Jordan. They both go to North Carolina. They end up being college roommates, and Buzz is not the player of the year over Michael post that. But Buzz still works for Jordan with the Charlotte, over in the Charlotte franchise, and with the Hornets, and as assistant GM, and still a close friend. Someone that he was Michael's best man in both of Michael's weddings, and so but he is someone that's been great for my career, and someone that still follows me and it talks with me quite a bit.
And then on to Kentucky with Matthew Mitchell.
Yeah, Matthew Mitchell. I interviewed with him at Tampa at the Final Four. Had no expectation of it. I didn't think he didn't think he was going to hire me, and luckily I did a good enough job in the interview, and turned into be one of my closest friends in the world, and someone I talk to just about every day, every night. We talk about our teams. He's now at the University of Houston, but for 5 years worked for him, and we was able to do some pretty remarkable things inside of that program, going to 4 Elite Eights, I believe it was. Not ever signed, the program had never signed a McDonald's All-American. My last year when I left, we had 12 on the team on one roster, and they never signed one. We won an SEC championship, regular season championship, something that was unheard of. Kentucky women's basketball in the past, you know as well as I do, Dick, was not very good.
Yep.
And during that run we had with Matthew there, we were able to put Kentucky women's basketball on the map, and so now it's a special place. Still have some close friends. The Brett Setzer and Jim Setzer, 2 big supporters up there of ours that are close friends of Dad and I. And I still go back there to the horse races and still go back there to do different things.
Any chance of a Middle Tennessee Kentucky reunion of the series that we used to have with them?
I don't know. I mean, that's more Kenny Brooks when it comes to that, and I didn't really have much ties with Kenny, and a lot of the guys I work with there are gone except for the donor base. I'm still the Bells are still there, the Setzers, the Sadlers, all of those are still there. But I don't know. It'd be something that obviously we'd be definitely open to. We've had a little success against Kentucky teams here recently, haven't we? Against Louisville especially.
Yes, we have. All right, I still remember that. In fact, those were my last 2 official games as a broadcaster in that tournament at Baton Rouge, the Louisville.
How special was that run?
Tremendous comeback game, and then to take LSU all the way down to
the final score doesn't really say what that game really was.
All the way down to the final quarter with that arena full of screaming Tiger fans. Yeah. I mean, full.
Well, was that one of the loudest places you've had to call a game in?
Definitely, definitely. And the way we played in that game, and just some of the things that happened in it really cast a spell over that. What had been a really great season was still a great season.
Yeah, and then it's interesting. We haven't really told a lot of this, but we get back, and the governor of Louisiana was at the game. and he calls Dad in the office the very next day that we're back just to say, hey, look, I want to compliment your team and how they handled themselves in a very hostile environment. You can just tell they're great young ladies that you know, it was awesome to hear from the governor of their state to talk about how much impressed he was with our young ladies and how successful they're going to be in life. And now you look at them all out there, they're either playing, and the ones that aren't playing are very successful in what they're doing. And you know, that's the culture of the program is something that I take very serious. And when we recruit players, is finding that right fit that fits our culture of our program, because culture wins. You know, people want to go out and build these teams and do all this and get these power super teams and all that. If your culture's not right, it doesn't matter. Money can't buy culture. And it don't matter how much money you have to pay for a team. If your culture is not good, you're not going to be very successful. That's the one thing that we've been able to do here for many, many years, is have good culture inside our program. And that's why we've been able to sustain so much success.
And class.
And class. You're 100% right. And that's important. And a lot of things in that LSU game went against us. And there's a lot of reasons we could make excuses on why that fourth quarter went the way it went. But you win with class, you lose with class. And you never saw our girls go classless during that whole situation. Yeah. As much as adversity they faced there, they kept putting their head down. They didn't argue with officials. They didn't talk back. They didn't get in shoving matches. They didn't get into any of that stuff. They just kept playing their game.
Talking with Matt Ensel, the new head women's basketball coach at Middle Tennessee. We'll be back. We've got a final segment coming up after this here on WGNS.
Whether you need general vehicle upkeep and maintenance or a complete vehicle overhaul, Hall's Auto Care is here for you. We're locally owned and operated by Greg Hall and have been in business since 2014. You'll get excellent service and trustworthy advice with Hall's Auto Care. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. We're ready to help get you safely on the road. Hall's Auto Care, 907 Ridgely Road, just off Broad Street behind Chili's. Online at hallsautocare.net. Hall's Auto Care.
Every team knows which play can be a winning move. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack, here to help life go right by combining your home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-890-0850. It's a winning move that saves you time and money. Your ride, your stuff. You live with them together. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack. It's smart to protect them together, to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me help you save by combining your auto and renters.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
Whether you're buying or selling a home or commercial property, the auction is just so much easier, quicker, smoother.
My wife and I sold our personal home. Parks Auction helped us with that. The house brought about 20% more than we were going to ask for.
Visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Told it to you, 27.5.
Power outages are unpredictable, but with Roscoe Brown's generator services, your peace of mind doesn't have to be. Whether it's storm season or an unexpected blackout, our generators ensure that your home stays powered. Installation, maintenance, or repair, our team's ready 24/7 to respond to your needs. With Roscoe Brown, you're not just getting a generator, you're securing a lifeline for those moments that you needed the most. Ensure your home is always powered. Your family's comfort is our commitment. RoscoeBrown.com.
This is Peter Demas, and our family is inviting your family to come eat with us at Demas's restaurant. We're trying to give them a place where they can eat with their family that's not fast food. We want to create an atmosphere where we can sit down and just have a good old-fashioned family dinner. But unfortunately now, most people can't do it at homes. You know, two people are working, the kids' activities, and so what we're doing is we provide that, and we make it affordable. Come eat with us at Demas's restaurant on Northwest Broad Street.
Hi, this is Dan with Music World and Drummers Den. Our prices are as good or better than the box stores. I don't think you'll do better by shopping online than you would by coming in. Being able to hold a guitar, try it out. You can't do that online. I am absolutely sure we have more selection of instruments than anybody else in the area. New and used. We have used instruments as well as new ones. Music World and Drummers Den, 2762 South Church Street, right across from the golf course. Thank you very much for being our customers.
Next on All Sports Talk, it's the Blue Raider Insider Report with Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and we've got breaking news in women's golf today. Middle Tennessee's Isabella Johnson, who is playing as an independent in the Louisville Regional of the NCAA Division I Women's Golf Tournament, after one round is tied for the lead. She is at 5 under par on the day. Looking at her round, she had 3 birdies, 2 bogeys, on the front side, came in at 35. Then on the second 9, she opened up with 4 straight birdies on numbers 10, 11, 12, and 13. Ended up shooting 32 on the back 9 for a total of 67 on the day. But right now, Isabella, who is from Murfreesboro, played her high school golf at PCA. She is in the lead along with Carlotta Sarver of Ole Miss and Nanami Nakashima of Kansas State. So 2 more rounds to go tomorrow and Wednesday. And if she can hang in, she's in great shape right now to move on past the regional. But again, Isabella Johnson of Middle Tennessee in first place, tied with golfers from Ole Miss and Kansas State on the individual side of the Louisville Regional. Johnson was selected to play in the tournament by the Women's Golf Committee based on her scoreboard ranking, currently sitting at 201 as one of the 6 individuals competing in that Louisville Regional. The top 5 teams and the low individual not on an advancing team from each regional will advance to the national championship at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa in Carlsbad, California. Let's keep your fingers crossed. This could be a very, very exciting developing story. Well, looking at Blue Raider baseball, Middle Tennessee fell in the series finale to Conference USA by a score of 10-2 on Sunday. The Blue Raiders found some headlines on the Hill as redshirt junior right-hander Drew Horn made his return to the mound after being sidelined for 6 weeks. Horn tossed 2 innings of 3-run ball while striking out 3 batters. The Blue Raider offense came courtesy of 2 solo home runs. Cooper Clapp hit his second in as many days with a shot to right center in the top of the 4th, and Tyler Minnick added the 10th bomb of his senior campaign in the top of the 9th, capping off a 3-hit day. Looking ahead to the Blue Raiders this week, Middle will be at home to take on Memphis tomorrow night, and then will be at home for the final series of the year. That will be against Liberty, and they'll back it up a day, playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So night games on Thursday and Friday, and a Saturday afternoon game against Liberty on Saturday. Looking at the conference standings, Middle Tennessee right now sitting in 9th place, and the top 9 will go to the conference tournament down at Kennesaw in about a week. The Blue Raiders right now, again, tied, or they're in 9th place, and they're 3 games up on New Mexico State, who they have the tiebreaker over, and they're also 3 games ahead of FIU, who they do not have the tiebreaker over. What that means is any combination of 1 Middle Tennessee win or 1 FIU loss makes sure that the Blue Raiders are in the conference tournament. The only way Middle is not in the tournament is if they lose all 3 at home this week, while FIU sweeps their final series. All right, that's it for today, folks. We'll have another update for you coming tomorrow right here on the Big G, WGNS.
It's all sports talk from the Good Neighbor Network, FM 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, wgnsradio.com, and Big G TV.
And welcome back into All Sports Talk for this Monday. Dick Palmer with you. My guest, Matt Insel, the head women's basketball coach at Middle Tennessee. And congratulations to Isabella Johnson.
Yeah, I know who I need to get for a scramble partner right now in golf. It needs to be her.
67 in the first round of the NCAA.
Yeah, I know it. I guarantee that Dad's sitting at home hearing that, thinking about that girl-guy tournament at Riverbend coming up in August, that he may need to ask her to be his partner.
Well, it wouldn't be a bad choice. He's been pretty good at recruiting so far.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he's going to recruit her.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the NCAA tournament and the new rules or expansion of the tournament. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I like it. I think it's great. Again, I think that some of the stuff that you've heard Gino say and even John Calipari come out and say is by expanding it doesn't need to be let's put more Power 4 teams in because they're in the Power 4. No, if you have I have a real hard time, even in this recent softball tournament that's about to happen in NCAA, we put teams in out of the SEC that won 4 conference games. 4 conference games. They're 4-18. You don't deserve to be in if you won 4 conference games. I don't care what league you play in. And if you keep using the excuse, well, I play in the SEC, so that's why if you played here, you wouldn't have that many games. Well, then come play in another league and try to win. Because if you can't win in that league, doesn't mean you should be going to the NCAA tournament. And so I hope that we take, as a committee, they start taking a bigger emphasis on winning and teams that win. I mean, it's just like last year, the men's NCAA tournament. Miami of Ohio was on the bubble. They lost 1 game in the regular in this season, 1 game, and we're going to say they're on the bubble because they get beat in the conference championship game. That's the only game they lost. But then we're going to put a team in out of the Big Ten or the SEC that went 4-12 in their league. No, they don't deserve to be in. They didn't win enough games. And I think that we got to put the best teams in. We got to put teams in that win games. And I don't care if it's a Conference USA team. If there's a conference, if we're 28-4, we should be in the NCAA tournament.
No doubt. Yeah.
And it over a team that's 17-14. I go back to the year that we beat Louisville in the first round 2 years ago. You know who got screwed over because of our seed? Louisville. We just shouldn't have been an 11 seed. I think Tennessee was a 7 that year. We beat Tennessee in the regular season.
Yeah.
And they get a 7, I believe, and we're an 11. You know who that hurt? That hurt Louisville, because now Louisville has to play a team that's misseeded. And, you would hope that these committees would stop looking at what a metrics is or start looking at what a computer says and start watching these teams play and have the eye test mean something and winning games mean something. I'm glad we expanded the tournament. I'm really, really like the fact that we did that. But let's make sure that we take an emphasis on teams that win and not just putting teams in because they're in a certain conference.
Yeah, and the feelings on that are split pretty much because a lot of coaches think that they're just, like you say, they're going to be going to the mid and lower level conferences, standings of the Big Four conferences, and ignore what they call mid-majors now.
If you take the SEC this year, Dick, and I've watched how this portal goes, they even an SEC coach told me this week, you have 6 teams in our league and the rest of us aren't any good. But then those other, 8 or 9 teams or 10 teams that's in that league is going to be saying they should be in the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, we lost a kid to the SEC. I would love to play that team. I would love to play that team with our roster we have right now, what we've built. I'd love to play that. And, and that's the thing. Here's the problem we run into now is teams like ourselves, teams like the Gonzagas of the world, the Fairfields of the world, South Florida's, all of us that go out and try to do it the right way, recruit high school players, developing them and getting them better. Now these SECs, they want to come in and just pay these kids a bunch of money to pull them off our rosters. They're not really recruiting. It kills me when these people come out and say, well, I'm a big-time recruiter. No, you're not. You're not a great recruiter. You just got $2 million behind you. If I had $2 million behind me, I'd say I'm the greatest recruiter in the world, too. But that's the stuff that I could go on a rant about that all day long. But I'm glad the expansion happened. It's going to provide more opportunities. Our objective is to be in that tournament. Our objective is to make a Sweet 16 run, and that's what we're going to work towards every day, and we're going to do it. And I really feel like we have a roster this year that's built that way. Now, how quickly we get there, I don't know, because our schedule's really tough. And, when you're starting, the first 3 games are St. Louis, Memphis, and Tennessee, and 2 of those are on the road. And so
St. Louis is good.
Yeah, so we started home against St. Louis, and then we're on the road to Memphis, on the road to Tennessee. That's your first 3 games. We better be pretty good early. We could be in a hole, and we don't want to be there. But that's how we play, though. We're gonna play. We're not backing from our schedule, and I go right down our roster. Every one of our young ladies, and I'm looking at it right here. Gracie Hamby, I guess, is the first one you have listed at 0, all the way down to Nora, that's number 28, 29. I think you would really enjoy calling a game with a number 29, wouldn't you?
Oh, loved it.
I think every one of those young ladies have a chance to make a big difference in our team this year, and I'm excited about starting to work with them in June.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the schedule, but I know you haven't released it yet, but can you give us a few highlights?
We talked about Tennessee and Memphis and St. Louis as we start the season there, in St. Louis at home, Memphis and Tennessee on the road. But then we're going during Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving, leading up to Thanksgiving. So it'll be the Monday, which works out good now with the new football schedule coming out, because we have a home Thanksgiving game. The Saturday after Thanksgiving, we play at home in football. But so the weekend before, that Monday, Wednesday before that, we're playing in Jacksonville, Florida, staying at the TPC Marriott there at TPC Sawgrass, and we'll be playing, I think one of the teams is Oregon State, and then I can't remember who the other team is we'll be playing, which is another Power 4 team will be playing there. And then that's Thanksgiving. And then right before Christmas, we're going over to Cherokee, North Carolina, which is right across the Tennessee line there at the Cherokee Reservation. And we'll be playing South Florida, Old Dominion, and I think Wake Forest, somewhere like that. That's all in that event there. So we got 2 different events that we're going to be in this year on neutral sites. It's against some really good teams. It gives us a chance to get some big wins to put ourselves in a situation to get a good seed in the NCAA tournament.
I know a couple of people listening right now are very interested in that Jacksonville tournament that you're going to be in.
I think his last name's Palmer.
I think so, yes.
You'll have to go with us.
Well, that's I'll consider that an open invitation.
Yeah, your invitation's always there, and so you're always welcome.
Well, the tournament is going to be back in Huntsville this year, is it?
Yeah, we're back in Huntsville, I believe, all the way to 2029 or 28, one or the other. I think they signed another 3-year deal. There's no better place for the tournament. Yep. And when you start talking about who's going to draw, Middle's going to draw, Western's going to draw, Liberty's going to draw, Missouri State's going to draw. So keeping this tournament that's in drivable distance for even Liberty and Missouri State fans to get there. I think the Missouri State AD said it after the tournament this year. He come on social media and was saying, hey, it's not that bad of a drive. Next year you need more fans to plan on coming. We know it's not that bad of a drive for us in Western. And so, it's a perfect place for the conference tournament. And the city of Huntsville does a great job. Joel Lamp and his crew does a phenomenal job for that tournament being there. It's also, you got Jacksonville State and Kennesaw State, they're close, and in men's basketball they draw really well. And so it's a perfect spot, and it's a city that wants us. When you go into that city, it's you've seen it. They've got signage, they got everything, they want us there.
And next year there will be no Louisiana Tech and no UTEP, right?
Yeah, I'm going to miss UTEP. I like that hotel we found out there. I am not going to miss La Tech. And it has zero to do with – we dominated La Tech. I think they beat us 2 times since we've been in Conference USA, twice. And so we want to – I'm sure they want to act like they've won a lot more, but we've dominated them. So it has zero to do with playing against them. And
it's just getting there and getting back, huh?
Who wants to go to Ruston? As I told our players this year when we were down there, y'all realize now why you didn't go to school here. And so, so who wants to go there? I don't want to go there as a coach. I'm sure our players didn't want to go there. So good riddance for them. And I wish them well in the Sun Belt. So.
Do they plan to add additional teams in the future, do you think?
I would think in the future they will, but I don't know that for sure. You hear the rumblings, you hear different things of different teams and all that. And, I think that Judy and her group there at Conference USA are doing a great job of trying to figure all that out. We got a great group of athletic directors led by Chris and all the ADs in our conference. And I think they're openly looking. But 10 is a good number that we're at right now, and I'm sure there's some people that we can add to help us. I'm sure they'll do it.
So that would mean 18
conference games. So the NCAA passed this year that you can play 32 total games, and so 18 of those will be conference. So we'll play 14 non-conference games, and so that works out really well, especially for teams like us that try to play people.
Got about 2 minutes. It's not really enough for you to explain the 5-5 rule.
Yeah, I mean,
eligibility,
the 5-year rule, real quick, it's not going to affect, as we all wanted it to affect this year's class with Elena being able to come back, but it's not. It's not going to affect, her class will not be included in that. But from here on out, they'll be included in that, and so that's good. And then one of the things I want to touch on is in the month of June, I think June 6th, the first Saturday in June, our team is going to be out at the farmers market, meeting with fans and doing things there. We're going to go to the farmers market on the square at least one day, at least one Saturday of every month, leading into the school year starting. And so we'll let people know about us being out there at those things.
All right, let's talk about your camps coming up now.
We do. We have team camps coming up, and then we have Little Raiders camp. We have Little Raiders camp for boys and girls all throughout our community. I think right now we have over 160 kids already pre-registered, and that's June. It's in the third week of June, and so the fourth week of June there. I don't have the exact dates, but you can get on our website, you can get on our social media, you can find all of that right there. And we need you there. We teach at that camp. We teach the game at that camp, and that's something that needs to be done.
So is Clark here going to be an instructor or participating?
He will be participating. We got to work on our ball handling. He beat me in a game of horse in the backyard today. And the last shot, he looked at his sister, and he's going to beat me. He said, "This one's for you up there," and winked at her and made the shot. I said, "Yeah, he's already looking for the girls in the crowd."
My guest today has been Matt Ensel, who is the new head women's basketball coach at Middle Tennessee State University, and his